In today's edition of 30 Days of Fabric, I'm going to show you how to have different experiences in Microsoft Fabric as a data engineer, a data analyst, or a data scientist, or even a data manager. All right, so for you to be able to come here, this is the home page of Microsoft Fabric. You need to navigate to app.fabric.microsoft.com, especially if you're not an existing Power BI user. Okay, if you're an existing Power BI user, you just sign into Power BI service and then navigate to Microsoft Fabric. Or you come directly here. It doesn't matter if you have a Microsoft account or not, as long as you have the access, right? In our previous video, yesterday's video, I showed you how you can access Fabric. All right, so now that we're here, these are different experiences you can have in Microsoft Fabric. The first experience is the data analyst experience using Power BI. So if you click on this Power BI, it's going to take you back to Power BI service. Okay, now remember what we do in Power BI: we build reports, visualize data. So here you can create a new report, okay, with the data that you have in your Fabric, right? Let's go back. Yeah, create a new report, workspace, and all of that. But let's go back to Microsoft Fabric homepage. So that is what you have here, and maybe you're working with Synapse or Data Factory, and you've been able to prep your data. You want to visualize it right here without going out to Power BI desktop to do that. You just come to Power BI here and use it. Okay, so the next experience you're going to explore is Data Factory experience. So let's open Data Factory experience. What happens? So when you open the Data Factory experience, you're going to see two things. Basically, you're going to see the data flow gen 2 and data pipelines. Now, data flow gen 2 is a way you prep, clean, and transform your data using a drag and drop interface. Usually, this is a massive advantage that we now have, right? Because usually data factory is usually located in Microsoft Azure cloud, and you need a cloud subscription to be able to use it. It's a pay as you go subscription. But having Microsoft Fabric makes it easy for you to use Data Factory, right, for your data engineering ETL task, for your pipelines, without even accessing Azure. And most importantly, you don't need to write code, right, to really use Data Factory. Previously in Azure, for you to clean or prep your data in Data Factory, you need to use SQL, or you use PySpark or Python, right, to be able to clean your data. But here you can clean your data the way we clean data using Power Query in Excel and Power BI, right, without writing a single line of code. So you can prep your data with Data Flow Gen 2. It does the same thing as Power Query. And you also have pipelines, data pipelines. So this is where you ingest your data at scale. This is where you schedule task and all of that. So data pipeline building is more of a data engineering work, how you set up your data before analyzing. Okay, so this is the data factory experience. So let's go back to the data factory data Microsoft Fabric homepage. So the next is data activator. We have some um, solutions here in preview, right? So we have the reflex and the reflex sample, where you can monitor your dataset or queries event streams. So if you're the team lead, right, or maybe you're even using stream analytics, right? Now, event streams is when you're dealing with data, a streaming data. Streaming data is data that is generated in real time or near real time. Okay, let's say IoT data, right? If you know about Internet of Things or how data is generated very fast, right? Reflex, the data activator here is what you can use for that solution. If you previously used Stream Analytics in Azure Cloud, this is a solution you can use for Event Hub, and Microsoft Stream Analytics. Yeah, so you can try here with some samples and all of that, explore more about it. All right, so let's go back. The next experience you're going to have, mind blowing, amazing experience you can have with Fabric is the Synapse Data Engineering experience. This is super, super, super amazing experience that you can have outside of Azure Cloud, right? Synapse is the data engineering, the big data warehouse infrastructure that you have in Azure Data Cloud, right? So here you have it in Fabric, and here you can build your lake house. I'm going to show you how to use lake house, how to create a lake house and use it effectively for storing big data, querying and reporting. I'm going to show you notebooks. If you're familiar with Google Colab, Jupyter Notebook, and the rest, I'm going to show you how you can use something like that here for your data. The environment, the libraries, the environment is in preview. We have Spark Job, so you can use PySpark or Apache Spark, right, to run your data engineering work here. You can work with data pipeline here also. So you can either use the data factory or you use the Synapse data engineering, depending on what you want to achieve for setting up your data pipelines. You can import a notebook. Maybe you have notebook in your local machine in your system, maybe a Jupyter notebook, or whatever kind of notebook, you can bring it in here. Okay, so if you notice, I have some already existing workspaces here. I was doing something on PySpark, but I'm going to show you how to create your own lake houses. All right, so let's go back to the third experience, which is the data science experience. I love data science. I love machine learning. I don't know about you. If you're a lover of machine learning, hey, machine learning is here at your fingertips. You don't even need to go to Azure Machine Learning to use machine learning, right? So you can work on machine learning models, experiment. You can use a notebook. You know, the experiment interface you had in Azure ML, right? You can have the same thing here. You can create, run, track, and your the development of your models and all of that. Notebook, right? Like Jupyter, Google Colab, and all of that. So you can do that here. You can import a notebook and all of that. So this is machine learning. Very, very interesting, very, very amazing. And it's amazing that you have it outside of cloud. All right, so let's go back. And then we have the Synapse Data Warehouse experience. Wow, Synapse Data Warehouse experience. Usually in Azure Synapse Analytics, we usually have the Azure, the SQL data warehouse, right? In Synapse. But now you don't have that warehouse. You don't It's still available on Synapse in you can still use Synapse in Azure, right? But if you don't want to go through that route, maybe you don't even have Azure subscription and you have access to Fabric, you can do the same thing. You can build and maintain your warehouse here. Okay, maybe you have data from multiple sources, from different data sources, whether on premises, on cloud data sources. You can integrate your data here in data warehouse, right? Create a data pipeline, right, to ingest this data from different, and then go on to use the Power BI feature to analyze your data. All right, so that is the data warehouse experience in Synapse. And then we have the real-time analytics. This real-time analytics works just like the data activator, just that the data activator is still in preview. But then, yeah, okay, you remember event stream. So this is, you have event stream. This is amazing solution for IoT, right? You have the KQL database. You can create a KQL database, right? If you want to learn more about KQL, you can get started here. This is for real-time analytics, and what I've explained before about real-time analytics is that you're able to run models that analyze your data as they are being generated in real time or near real time. So let's say if the data is updated maybe every 1 minute, right? Or as the data uploads in real time, like I've used example of IoTs, for instance your smart devices, code hubs, fuel station meter, stuff like that, right? So those are IoT data sources. So you can stream data, your meter, smart meter, how your the smart meter reads every second, every minute. So you can use real time analytics to analyze the data of your smart meter and all of that. So you can do all of that here. So these are the various experiences you can have in Microsoft Fabric. I'm going to teach you how to use all of these experiences, both as a data analyst, as using both real time and cached data tables, synapse